Somebody on the Rock team said, yo, the wrestling community has been complaining about the lack of hype for WrestleMania in Vegas this year. The Rock says, well, how about The Rock? Because you know he calls himself The Rock. How about The Rock comes in as being head of the board, force my way back in, and put some steam around this WrestleMania in Vegas? Who else but The Rock can do it? I'm sure that's his thought process. Top of the Top, episode 277, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute, or there's just an episode, saw some topics you may want to hear about, thank you for tuning in as well. Podcast available on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Subscribe to your preferred audio platform. Tell a friend to tell another friend. Check out this show. All love is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank y'all for the love and support. Hope everyone had a great week, great weekend. Do the same this upcoming week. A lot of things to talk about this week in music and wrestling. First, in music, we got a lot of R&B projects that dropped on Valentine's Day a couple weeks ago. So I want to talk about that. Drake, PartyNextDoor, some sexy songs for you. Jagged Edge, on the 25th anniversary of J.E. Heartbreak, they dropped a new album. And California group They, who I talked about a few times throughout the years, they also dropped a new project, so I want to talk about that. And also in the wrestling world, we got Elimination Chamber going down this weekend. We got the men's chamber, the women's chamber match. We got Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, unsanctioned match. And after this past Friday Night SmackDown, The Rock and Cody Rhodes, I got to talk about that as well. So sit back, relax, enjoy a new episode, Stash House Podcast. Let's get to it. So like I said, to start off, talking about new music. First, let's talk about Drake, PartyNextDoor, new album, some sexy songs for you, 21 songs. And I had some time to sit with this album as well as the other two projects I'm going to talk about because like I said before, they dropped on Valentine's Day. And I knew I didn't have to record because I already had the interview with Big Sko in the tuck. And shout out once again to Marcus. Sko came through last week. We had a great conversation, great interview. And like I said, I'm going to try my best to get those type of conversations back going. I did it years ago. I did enjoy it, but I had to get back in the zone of doing things that, talk about things, I like to do on a week in, week out basis. So throughout the time, I'm going to do my best, and I got some things I'm working on outside of the studio as well that may comfort more people. So, yeah, just stay tuned. Y'all been riding with me this long. The marathon continues, RP Nip Hustle. So like I said, these came out Valentine's Day, so I had some time to listen to them, sit back. And with the Drake PartyNextDoor, some sexy songs for you. Like I said before, I've been waiting on it for years. We thought this should have been happened. But I can admit, when I saw 21 songs, I was like, I was like, come on, you could have gave me, for Valentine's Day, February 14th, you could have gave me 14 songs. There's a solid 10 I rock with heavy, though. Like, if you just put these 10 on, like when I edit it, and these the 10 that represent this album, I'm satisfied. But I could have dealt without a good bit of, towards the end, I can't remember the exact name of the songs, but towards the end, it got a little rocky for me, but it picked back up with like Celibacy, OMW, I really love. But it was just a chunk, a little bit for that last stretch. I was like, y'all could have cut about 3 or 4 of these songs. But all in all, CN Tower, I really enjoyed a lot. That was a great intro. Had me very excited. Spider-Man, Superman with the, what's that sample at the end? You must have done this before. This can't be first. That Real Her sample at the end, I was like, okay, that's a nice touch. That was a nice touch on this Spider-Man, Superman song, so I enjoyed that. PartyNextDoor, Deeper. Kevin Durant tweeted, like, I think the day of, Kevin Durant was like, Deeper is already PartyNextDoor's best songs. It's a great song, but it's not, I don't even think it's the best showcase of Party on this album. That Laser song, Deeper is cool, but Lasers is the one. I thought OMW was the one. Lasers, when Party came in, said what he said to start the song off. That's the vibe I wish. If you gave me like 5 more lasers on this album, I would have been satisfied. But I got a solid 10 I like out of 21. I think, and this is why I love that I didn't have to talk about it immediately after it came out. I saw a lot of, of course, after the situation, after the battle last year, the Super Bowl just happened. This is Drake's first move post-battle I've agreed with. Everything else, the 100 gigs, I was like, I appreciate it, but you could have been did this, All them other songs he dropped after that was on like a Finster page or something, none of them really stuck. Of course, the lawsuit, that was just, all right, bro, come on now. But this project is kind of the narrative everybody was talking about after the battle. Like, right after everything was said and done, there was like, if Drake can come back on the scene, do something the women are fuck with heavy. He tried it with Lotto and Sexy Red. It's like, nah, we don't mean like that. We talking about that R&B shit, that vibe, that Houston, Atlanta, Vegas vibe that made you different when you came out. Yeah, you can rap. You was rapping like Lil Brother, Fonte. Then you got with Wayne. You were rapping, but that other side, the Bria's interlude and all that, Jaded, what's my shit on, Scorpion, Finesse, songs like that. I get lonely too. Like that bag he gets in, that's the one that's like, okay. It does go with the narrative of I like Drake with the melodies and lean into it. Like I said, Laser, Celibacy I like, OMW, that's an early favorite. When He's Gone, and Greedy, I like a lot. So I got like a solid 10 out of 21. But like I said, eventually, Drake, you're going to have to find a way to rap about your past year or so, because that's what we want to hear. You got to get vulnerable. You can do that mafioso vibe that he do that I like. And not really the drill, shoot 'em up, bang, bang Drake. It's more of the, linguini pasta rapping Drake that I really like a lot. So eventually he's going to come back with that. But for the time being, while the weather's still chilly, some sexy songs for you, him and Party. I like to see what they do with this moving forward. Also, Jagged Edge, all original parts, Volume 1, 15 songs. They have been making runs around the media. They went to Breakfast Club. I saw another interview. I think these guys are based out of Tennessee. They went on. And I posted it too. Like, I've been talking about Jagged Edge realistically since like October, very heavy. When I went to go see Usher, I want to say the next week when he was still in Atlanta, he brought Jagged Edge out. And it just had me thinking like, because like I say, when I went to that Usher concert, they just had me back in that late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s R&B vibe. So I was listening to Jagged Edge, and I was like, they came out, and I was like, not only a new Jagged Edge album would be cool, I might want to see these guys live. So I've really been talking about it since October, but on the podcast, of course, the end of the year, I brought it up. But I've been waiting on Jagged Edge for a minute, since October. Like, real deal. Like, they was on my list of artists who I was waiting to drop this year. And I wanted to go see them on tour, but the tour date they got, the tour dates, all of them kind of mess with my schedule that I got going on. But they said on the Breakfast Club, this is a part 1 album. They're trying to drop 3 albums this year. And this tour, just like an anniversary tour, really, of J.E. Heartbreak that came out in 2000. J.E. Heartbreak, He Can't Love You, What You Trying to Do, one of my favorite Jagged Edge songs. Healing, one of my favorite Jagged Edge songs. Of course, Promise and Let's Get Married. That's J.E. Heartbreak. So they're like, it's really for the anniversary. Then we're going to come back later this year with like a bigger tour. And I've been saying, give me Jagged Edge, give me Donnell Jones, give me Joe, and I will say Faith Evans, SWV. Yeah, I need that Jagged Edge, Donnell Jones, Joe, and SWV concert this summer. I need that. So shout out to Jagged Edge. And this album overall, it is a good, solid project from Jagged Edge, a legendary R&B group. This is how I like to hear legendary artists still sound in 2025. Now, they did experiment a little bit with the Cash Cobain sounding drill, sexy drill song. That was cool, but give me that Without Love, that Child song, that go crazy. They got some songs that they still can sing. They never broke up. I really been enjoying their interviews as well. And lastly, we got the duo They out of California, Dante Jones and Drew Love. I want to say Dante is the producer and Drew Love is the singer. their third project since 2020. Of course, in 2020, they dropped the Amanda tape. One of my favorite projects of that year. It's definitely, when I think about the music I was listening to, quarantine, the Amanda tape is one of those I had in rotation from the newer artists, especially newer in R&B. And a few years ago, they dropped the New Moon project as well. But this project is called Love Jones, and that goes without saying. The Diamonds and Pearls song is great. Rotation, it seems to be the one they're pushing. 5 Star was an early favorite for me. Drive Through is crazy. And Gemini goes hard as well. So shout out to they, a very, very consistent group in the R&B world. And like I said, I've been on them since 2020 with the Amanda tape. Highly recommend y'all check that album out. Definitely good vibes throughout. And also other things in R&B I want to talk about. I saw Ari Lennox post. Her album is coming soon. I've seen she's been working with Jermaine Dupri as well. So I can't wait for that. And the one thing that had my attention this past week in R&B, I saw Tank. I believe it was Tank who started the Chris Brown Residuals Award because he won at the Grammys. I think he won Best R&B Album. Shout out to Chris Brown. That 1111 album is great with the deluxe attached to it. Shout out to Chris Brown. So Tank did the Residuals Challenge. And the one that got the most attention, I'll say, was Jacob Lattimore. If you don't remember who Jacob Lattimore is, he was around during the Diggy Simmons era. I think he was on the TV show. I know he on The Shy for sure right now, but I think when he was younger, he was on another show. But I know he was around when that Mindless Behavior era, like 106 Apart, Last Leg. I remember Jacob Lattimore. So apparently he dated the girl Soraya, who's now mother of Joey Badass child. They started dating. So I didn't know Jacob Lattimore and her had a history. My coworker brought it up to me. So he basically singing like, I didn't want to, I don't want to mispronounce what he said, but he was like, basically, I wasn't ready to give you a baby and all that. So it was a conversation of why you saying that now when she just announced her and Joey Badass are expecting. And my whole thing was, bruh, y'all not about to make this R&B Newsweek about fucking Jacob Lattimore. All right? Not Jacob. If it was Brett, Bryson, Party, okay. But Jacob Lattimore, after Joey Badass just been rapping about how you won't smoke with anybody, I wouldn't be mad if Joey Badass took it away, but he seems to be ignoring it. And that's the best thing he could do. We're not about to shine light on Jacob fucking Lattimore in R&B. Shout out to The Shy. I get it. But come on, man. Come on, man. And Tank, come on now. Residual challenge. That Chris, the video, the song, and now you want to make a challenge for it. You got Jacob Lattimore doing all this. Man, come on. But that's one thing I noticed throughout the past week or so in R&B. Also, other projects I checked out, Chase Shakur, Wonder Love. I believe Chase Shakur is out of Atlanta, but the Wonder Love album is great. Nobu Woods, Until. I came up on these on TikTok too, by the way. Nobu Woods, Until. And Isaiah Falls, Drugs and Lullabies. I've been checking those out in the R&B world as well. So like I said, they, Love Jones, Jagged Edge, All Original Parts Volume 1, and also Drake, PartyNextDoor, some sexy songs for you. Those are the albums I've been checking out. Let me know what you've been listening to, and I'll be sure to check it out as well. Now to wrap things up, let's talk about Elimination Chamber going down this weekend, the last PLE before WrestleMania in April. And that's where I want to start. There's been a lot of talks about the somewhat lackluster hype around WrestleMania so far this year. For one, I'm always on the side of let's just see how things play out. We might not agree with every decision they make. We might not agree with who wins, who gets in the Elimination Chamber match. But let's see where it goes. That's what we've been doing throughout this Triple H era so far. We had the Royal Rumble winners. Y'all know I'm a Gunther guy. So I didn't even see Gunther and Jay main event in night 1 and definitely not night 2. I understand the story, the somewhat Kofi Mania story, the somewhat Daniel Bryan story, because those two guys didn't win the Royal Rumble. I understand the moment, but I don't know. Let's see what else is on the table. Of course, we got the John Cena retirement still going. But this is like his first real outside of the Royal Rumble. So after the Elimination Chamber, how long will Cena be around before WrestleMania, and how many times after WrestleMania will Cena be around? We'll see how that goes. The Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk story, Drew McIntyre, Jimmy Uso. It's a lot of top guys, but it's not so many stars. Like, we've seen Seth be in the main event. We've seen Drew be in the main event. A lot of people want CM Punk in the main event for obvious reasons. John Cena, retirement. Roman Reigns been ducked off since Royal Rumble. The whole bloodline, Jacob Fatu is one of the biggest draws in the WWE, in my opinion. When he comes out, the energy shifts. So you got that going on. The Penta sensation going crazy. A lot of people are up to here. They are like damn near about to punch the ceiling out of how long we're going to wait for Finn Balor to get back right. So it's a lot of things I'm looking forward to, but it's a lot of things I'm like, okay, I really don't know the direction, but that's the best thing I can say for this year's WrestleMania compared to the last two WrestleManias. We knew what the main events were going to be. The outcome, 39, I was there, the first Roman Cody. It was like a shocker. I wasn't mad, and I know definitely last year we kind of figured Cody was going to win, but we just didn't know how everything was going to play out. But with this year, before The Rock showed up on SmackDown, I was like, let's see how things play out. Now with The Rock inserting himself back in, I'll talk more about that when I get to the Cody and Rock segment. But for Elimination Chamber, let's start with Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in the unsanctioned match. We know how far back this friendship goes, the on and off rivalry between these two. This probably steals the show. It's unsanctioned, so I think they got to go all out. You done did the move to hurt Sammy neck, and Cody Rhodes did the Alabama Slam on Kevin Owens on the ladder. They got to go all out, I feel, for this match, and especially with the two chamber matches the same night. I think this is going to steal the show. Just the story behind it has been great. I thought they were going to do something with Sammy and Cody, especially after the Royal Rumble, but, you know, a lot of people would say, you know, this should have been on Mania, but, you know, we'll see how it goes. But Sammy and Kevin, I think it's going to be a great match. I can see Sammy getting the victory, but I would like to see Kevin's hard work go, you know what I'm saying, get rewarded for his hard work that he's been putting in. Like the Cody, Kevin Owens, that storyline was stale, but he still made it a great ladder match. Let Kevin Owens get this one. And let Sammy find something for Sammy. I don't know. We done seen a lot within these past few years with the top guys in the locker room and with the women, I would say. So I would like to see Kevin Owens like get that mean streak victory back. And maybe Randy Orton returns here. I don't know. But I think I got Kevin Owens over Sami Zayn. The women's Elimination Chamber match, we got Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, who made her return at the Royal Rumble, Bayley, and Roxanne Perez, the Prodigy. Now, all these women have storylines. Of course, Liv Morgan, she has kind of been carrying, her and Rhea Ripley have been carrying the women's division on Raw. But for me, I just feel like I'm tired of the Liv Morgan gimmick, her and Dom. I think it's ran its course. Everything going on with Judgment Day with the new member, who's that going to be? Finn Balor, Dominic seem to be at odds. I don't know. The Liv Morgan, I respect her. She's one of those women wrestlers, for me, you just learn to respect the hard work she's been doing. Like, I can't take that away from her. I might not agree with how she gets booked and all that, but she shows up and she does a job. So I got to respect her on that standpoint. But I think they need to do something with Judgment Day. The JD injury was crazy. Carlito, he's there for LOL moments. Finn, like I said, seemed like him and Dom about to go at odds with each other. So we'll see what happens with Judgment Day. Bianca Belair and Naomi. I thought Royal Rumble, Jade Cargill was going to come back, tie a bow to this storyline, see where it goes from Royal Rumble to Elimination Chamber, but obviously that didn't happen, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with Bianca Belair and Naomi. They had video footage of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez in the parking lot or something like that when Jade Cargill got attacked. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I thought Royal Rumble was a great time for that storyline to be brought back, not brought back up, but kind of like a climax, and then it's like, okay, what happens next? But we'll see what happens. Alexa Bliss, like I said, she returned at Royal Rumble, the Bray Wyatt tribute, all that good stuff. Very curious to see what happens with Alexa Bliss. she is one of those women who's bring that fire back into the women's division because it has been kind of stale for the past few months to a year, I'll say. But Alexa Bliss being in the midst is a positive. It is a positive, so we'll see what happens with that. Bayley, I think there's a Bayley-Roxanne Perez beef going on from NXT, so I'm thinking those two will be heavily involved with each other. Roxanne Perez, of course, the prodigy. Booker T's protege, I believe. But all in all, and this is for a chance to challenge Rhea at WrestleMania, right? Because Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair is official. So who's the face? We seen Liv Rhea. I don't want to see that at WrestleMania. Bianca, Naomi, I think their storyline got something to do with Jade going to WrestleMania. I think Bayley, Roxanne, that's WrestleMania. So all that's left is Alexa Bliss. So I got Alexa Bliss winning the Women's Elimination Chamber match. And speaking of the women's division, over the weekend, it was made official, a tag team match at Elimination Chamber. Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton faced Candice LeRae and Nia Jax. Personally, this could have happened on SmackDown or not at all. But I guess you got to have Tiffany Stratton on the card. Charlotte Flair may come out, add some more heat to their WrestleMania match. Plus with Trish Stratus, who's probably the GOAT from the generation before these two women. Charlotte Flair, the GOAT of this current generation. And Tiffany Stratton seems to be the future of the generation. You can have 3 generations going at it. We'll see how it play out. But the men's Elimination Chamber match, we got Drew McIntyre, John Cena, Logan Paul, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Damian Priest. Now, this match before SmackDown could have went anywhere, and now with The Rock coming back with that promo saying him and Cody Rhodes got to talk at Elimination Chamber, this men's chamber match can go either way. At this point, it can go either way. Drew, I want them to do right by Drew. I really hated the way his Mania ended last year with the champ beating Seth Rollins, if I'm not mistaken. He beat Seth Rollins, got involved with CM Punk. Damian Priest came and cashed in. I was like, oh, come on, man. All stemming from the pandemic when he didn't have his moment in front of the crowd. So Drew is a loose cannon. I don't see him winning. John Cena, his last Elimination Chamber match. He's saying he don't want the belt. He want to earn an opportunity like everybody else, to which was crazy because he was in the Royal Rumble match. He got eliminated last by Jey Uso. Just to come back and put himself in Elimination Chamber. He didn't have a qualifying match. He just put his OG card out. Was like, I don't need to do no qualifying match. I'm in it. So he didn't have a qualifying match, and he's been busy. He hasn't really been around outside of Rumble, and I think the Raw after Rumble he was out. But other than that, he been ducked off. Logan Paul, if you thought people were mad about the Jey Uso Royal Rumble win, they'll really be mad if Logan Paul wins the men's chamber and goes to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. But I don't see that happening. Like I said, CM Punk is the one I think a lot of people just want to see. And now with the addition of The Rock, that makes for a very interesting storyline. Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, I don't see it. It really comes down to Cena and Punk for me. Even before The Rock. But now with The Rock there, you got the Rock Cena history. You got the Punk, who probably was scheduled to win. Now The Rock coming in, changing, blocking yet another CM Punk WrestleMania main event as well. So that's how I'm looking at this chamber match. I say give it to Punk. All respect to Cena. I'm not sure if Cena got to have one of the belts or a particular belt to have the record, but it doesn't need to be at WrestleMania. But at the same time, are they ready to take the belt off Cody? And what's the deal with the Cody Rock situation? That's what I've been leading to this whole time. So for the men's chamber, I got CM Punk winning. The women's chamber, I got Alexa Bliss winning. For that women's tag match, I guess Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus, I guess. And Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, I got Kevin Owens. Now, The Rock, Cody Rhodes, they're back and forth. And what I think happened, knowing what I know now about last year, what I think happened was The Rock had somebody on his team. This is my theory for what's happening. Somebody on The Rock team said, yo, the wrestling community has been complaining about the lack of hype for WrestleMania in Vegas this year. The Rock says, well, how about The Rock? Because you know he calls himself The Rock. How about The Rock comes in as being head of the board, force my way back in, and put some steam around this WrestleMania in Vegas? Who else but The Rock can do it? I'm sure that's his thought process. So now it goes back to the first episode on Netflix when him and Cody had that exchange. And even I found it kind of weird. I was like, okay, The Rock is he out of storylines? If he just TKO Rock, he just did that for last year, and this year they got it set up. But from his promo on SmackDown, my biggest thing taken away from this, one, Rock Roman does not need the title involved. It doesn't need to be Roman got the belt, he facing Rock for the belt. Obviously, Roman's going to win and retain. That doesn't, I think it's way more exciting for that belt not to be on the line and just watching and see what happens. It's a match everybody been waiting on for years. We couldn't get it last year. We could have probably got it last year, but, you know, you want to do Cody Roman again. I understand that. But I don't know, man. I don't know. The wrestling community, y'all said y'all didn't feel the steam for WrestleMania. Now with The Rock coming in and Roman, like I say, when Roman come back, I'm sure he's going to be looking at the Seth. I'm sure he's not going to be looking at the Cody. Like, Seth, the one that took you out at Royal Rumble, so I'm sure that's his focus going into WrestleMania because he's not in the chamber match. Roman is not in the chamber match. And I think he got to go for Seth Rollins. And that's a great rivalry match to have at WrestleMania. That's the story right there. Their last match at Royal Rumble years ago when Seth Rollins came as the Shield, that ended in no DQ. So I wouldn't be mad at them running that back for WrestleMania. So will Rock force himself to be like a manager role for Cody because they've been talks of this heel turn? Or is he there to screw John Cena or CM Punk again? We'll see. We'll see with this Rock-Cody dynamic. We'll see. Like I say, from Cody's standpoint, this whole you got the belt, everybody gunning for you, road to WrestleMania, you was the hunter, now you the hunted. Is that going to break you? But we'll see. But you know, The Rock, after what I found out about last year WrestleMania, I thought it was all kind of planned after CM Punk injury and they couldn't do Seth Rollins and CM Punk. But obviously, Rock wanted to change shit, and the fans online is what made them put Cody back in. I was like, oh, I thought for sure they were going to be prepared for The Rock coming in and fans booing that, and then, okay, we're going to bring Cody back. But obviously, I was like on some, we seeing the reaction, let's change it up again. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. I'll be tuned in for sure. So this has been episode 277, Stash House Podcast. Make sure you guys go out, have a great work week, a great school week. Be mindful of your surroundings. Stay safe. Keep me in your prayers. I'll do the same for y'all. Salute.